Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys like advice and tips for your GCSEs as someone who got all 8s and 9s in their GCSEs and 1 7 in science that we don't talk about. But before we start, I want to say that if you're doing GCSE art, I did make a whole separate video about that. So if you're doing that, then check that out because I literally went through all of my coursework. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about the specific subjects that I did, so there might be some that are different to what you're doing, but a lot of them will probably be similar. And I'm going to be talking about the specific methods and stuff that I use, so it might not work for everyone, but it worked really well for me. And yeah, so let's get started. Also, please don't forget to subscribe because I'm trying to reach 400 subscribers by Christmas and we are so close, so please subscribe. Thank you very much. Okay, so we'll start off with English literature. In English lit, I got a 9, and honestly, this was a really fun subject. I really liked this because, the reading and annotating books was so much fun for me. But when you're reading the books, make sure you're not just, reading it, having fun. You actually have to annotate them a lot. Annotate literally everything. Anything that could possibly have a meaning, you have to annotate it. Just annotate everything. Your whole book needs to be, covered in writing. I feel like that's the most important thing that you need to do for English lit. And then also for books, memorizing quotes is so important. You need to have at least 10 quotes for every single book. And for every potential topic, for all of the characters, you need to have quotes for that, and all the themes. You need to have quotes for everything. Quotes are so important because they can actually get you so many marks. And also for the poetry as well. Oh my god, I forgot you had to do poetry. Yeah, you need quotes for that as well. And also what I did is so for example, for one of the books, let's say I did Macbeth as one of my books. You should what you should do is for go through each character and each theme, or the key themes, and just think of possible questions that the question could be for that, and then just think of points that you would make if it was that question. So because the questions are quite predictable, to be honest, but then if a question comes up and it's similar to something you've practiced, you'll already have points in your mind, so you have an idea of what to write your essay about. So I feel like that's really good. And also for the poems, think of comparison points between all of the poems, so you're prepared for whatever it is. And then for English language, to be honest, I feel like there's not a lot you can do to revise. I don't think I really revised for English language. But one thing is, a lot of people say for the creative writing, you should plan a whole story in your head before and then just memorize it and copy it into your exam. But I think that's probably not a great idea because, first of all, how are you going to memorize a whole entire story? And second of all, the story that you've come up with might not even have anything to do with the question they've asked. So I feel like that's not a good idea. But yeah, I feel like there's not much to revise for English language. Just again, annotate everything. Make sure you have loads of language techniques and stuff that could be used. Yeah, there's not really much to English language. Just do lots of practice questions before, because it's really practice questions that once you understand the technique and you understand the structure, then you'll be good. Okay, and then maths. Honestly, I feel really weird giving advice for maths because I was really bad at maths. That 8 in maths was actually a miracle. But what I would say for maths, what I did do is, if there was ever a topic that I was really struggling with, I would just do questions on that specific topic until I understand that topic completely. There's a lot of websites I think Corbett Maths and Maths Genie and First Class Maths. Those are the ones that my teacher recommended to us. And you literally so if there's a specific topic that you're bad at, you just search it up in there and it will give you loads of questions on that topic. I think they're in difficulty from easiest to hardest. So as you're going, you're getting better and better at it until you get to the end, and basically then you know the whole topic. So I feel like that's the easiest way to learn topics. Also past papers, really good. Again, a lot of questions that you would see in past papers will be similar to the ones you have in your exam. So past papers are really good. Obviously not flashcards, because you don't need to memorize unless you want to memorize formulas, but that depends on whether you get the formula sheet or not. But to be honest, I feel like the formula sheet doesn't really help that much because a lot of the formulas aren't even on there. But I feel like that's it for maths, just past papers and using websites for specific topics. Okay, so for science, if you're not someone who either really likes science or definitely wants to do like one of the sciences in your A levels, I really, really recommend doing double science or combined science if your school lets you, because trust me, it's so, so much easier. And having an extra GCSE realistically doesn't mean anything. Unless you're going to go into science, it doesn't matter. I was not the best at science and I was put into the triple science class, and literally I was doing so, so bad. Like every single test I was getting like threes and fours, and I kept like begging my teacher like, please move me to double science. And finally they let me switch classes, and as soon as I got to combined science, I was like, oh my god, this is so easy. And I literally started getting like sixes, sevens, eights in science. And then for my final grade in science, I got an 8 and a 7, so an 8 in paper 1 and a 7 in paper 2. But compared to what I was getting in triple science, like it was so, so much better. So if you can do combined science instead of triple, then 100% do that. I know a lot of schools will make you do triple, but some schools have the option. So if you have the option, do double science, trust me. But tips for science, I would say, if you have some schools give them to you, but if not, buy the CGP books, because I think these are so, so helpful. And also for science, the best thing you can do is past papers. Like I wasn't like someone who made flashcards, like that wasn't really like very helpful for me. So I would literally just do past papers like the whole time. I did so many past papers and I found it really helpful. And then they also reuse a lot of questions. So a question that you might do in a past paper could very likely come up in your actual exam. So it's really important to do past papers. And like I said, the CGP guides, they have a lot of the information. If you're good at like reading and memorizing information, those books would be really good for you. And then for science, oh my gosh, the free science lessons guy on YouTube, he was like my savior. Like, you know how in you can have like a YouTube wrapped thing now, like Spotify wrapped? He was number one in my YouTube wrapped. Like that guy saved me. He carried me through my science GCSE. Like without him, I would not have got that grade. Like he's amazing. I used to think, oh my god, he's so boring. No, he's literally like the best person ever. Like he was my savior. For history, I got a 9, and what I did was literally, so basically my school, they gave us these books. So like we had 3 topics for history, and we got 3 books, like one on each topic, and literally just the whole book, I just used to read it and say it out loud, and just read it and say it out loud until I literally memorized the whole thing. Like I had like a whole timeline in my head. I would literally, if you don't, you need to get, if your school doesn't give them to you, you need to get like a textbook or a copy or something of all of the information, and you just need to memorize it. You don't need, there's no like really any exam structure or technique or anything. As long as you memorize stuff like dates and what happened and people's names and stuff, you'll be fine. It is a lot to remember, but if you have good memory, you'll be so good at history, trust me. And it's actually not that hard, to be honest. Like it seems a lot harder than it is. Like I'm telling you, like memorize 3 whole books. It's really not that hard. It's actually easy. Like there's not so much information that you need, and once you kind of understand it, it's really easy to remember. And then we have Spanish. I got an 8 in Spanish, and I genuinely don't know how, because I can't speak a single bit of Spanish. I'll be so real, I have no advice for Spanish. Like if you do Spanish, good luck. To be honest, it is the easiest language you can do, I think. So if you have an option and you haven't chosen yet, choose Spanish. But yeah, I would just say try and memorize lots of key vocabulary, like big words. If you use like big words in the writing paper, you'll get marks. Like you just need loads of big words. Um and the reading and the listening, honestly, I just guessed, and the speaking was a miracle. Okay, and then we have RE, or RS, religious education, whatever you call it, religion. So what I did for this was I used to do so many like practice exam questions or past papers. This is so, so helpful because again, they do reuse a lot of the questions in RE, but also quotes. You need to know so, so many quotes, like for different religions, like the different scriptures and stuff. You need to know quotes from them, and you need to know like where they're from, like for example what verse in the Bible and stuff like that, because you can get so many marks from quotes. So quotes are so, so important. And honestly, if you're good at English and like analyzing stuff, you'll be good at RE, because that's literally what it is, just analyzing. But yeah, the 2 main things I'd say for RE is quotes and past papers and practice questions. And then the last two subjects I did was art, but I've already made a whole video on that. So if you want to know about that, go check out that video. And I did enterprise, which was a coursework based subject. So I don't really have any advice for that because coursework is like subjective and everyone has different topics and stuff. But what I will say for coursework subjects is do your work on time. Do it like as soon as you get it because it really, really, really builds up. And yeah, it can get seriously stressful. So don't leave it to the last minute because oh my gosh, it is so stressful. And I feel like I've missed a subject, but I think that might be it. I'm pretty sure that's it. So yeah, that was all my advice. I hope it was helpful for you. If you have any questions or anything at all, just like put them in the comments and I'll answer them all as well as I can. If you have any questions about other subjects, I can try and answer them. Just anything you want to know, really, just ask. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful for you and I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.